If Dante Brooks was illegally sentenced as an adult, this would work more in favor of the family of the deceased. Just like on YouTube, forget your brain some new food. Hello people, and welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time on the channel, a special welcome to you. I ask that you check out the rest of my videos. If you like what you see, give them a thumbs up, leave a comment, but more than anything, I'm asking that you subscribe to the channel. Today I'm going to be talking about Dante Brooks, the son of dancehall artist Mavado, who has been sentenced to life in prison. To my understanding, Dante Brooks, who is now 18 years old, committed a murder in 2018. If I'm hearing right, or if I'm calculating right, in 2018 he was 15 years old when this crime was committed, and recently he has been sentenced to life in prison. So today's vlog is going to be scrutinizing the sentence, and I'm going to be saying some things in favor of Dante Brooks, and I'm also going to be saying some things in the favor of the victim's family, because I'm not here to take side. I'm just here to share knowledge and wisdom on what I know about law and legal proceedings. If it is indeed true that Dante Brooks was a minor when this crime is committed, then the sentence of life in prison could be seen as harsh and possibly an illegal sentence. So my advice to Dante Brooks is to get a legal team that knows exactly what they're doing in regards to Jamaican law, to scrutinize the Jamaican law, and to see if the sentence of life in prison is actually legal. Because to my understanding, this is just to my understanding, laws change every day, but to my understanding, a minor cannot be sentenced to life in prison in Jamaica. But who knows, laws could have been changed over the years since the last time I reviewed the Jamaican law. So if Dante Brooks was actually a minor when the crime was committed, the judge in this particular case can only sentence Dante Brooks according to his age bracket at the time of the crime and not the time of the sentencing, because sentencing can be delayed for years. So again, I would implore Dante Brooks, Mavado, and their legal team to look closely to see if the judge actually made a legal sentence. I did a little research about the case and realized that the case was heinous. It was ugly. Despite Dante Brooks' age at the time, it was an ugly murder because it involved an attempted beheading after the person was deceased, and it also involved arson. So somewhere or the home of this deceased individual was set ablaze. And when you combine all those elements of murder, an attempted beheading after the murder, and arson, it makes the case an even uglier one. I don't condone murders. I don't condone any crimes. And at the same time, I don't condone illegal sentences, because illegal sentences, in my opinion, is a crime itself. So judges have sentencing guidelines that they have to follow, and I'm just saying in this particular case, the legal team for Dante Brooks has to look closely to see if the judges or the judge actually sentenced Dante Brooks in an appropriate guideline. At the same time, I am aware, not in Jamaica, I'm aware in other countries, that a minor can be certified as an adult. I'm not so sure if the Jamaican law covers that, or over recent time that became a part of the Jamaican system. If that as a legal statute in Jamaica, where a minor can be classified as an adult in special circumstances, then if this is one of those cases, then there's no argument there. If it's not one of those cases, and if that is not written law, if that is not a written statute in the Jamaican law books, then the sentence is an illegal sentence, and Dante Brooks would have to be sentenced as a minor. Now on to the victim. When it comes to a murder case, there's usually a suspect and a victim. And the victim is usually broader than the actual suspect, because the victim is the deceased, but then their family has to actually deal with the pieces to pick up to go on living life without this individual. So now that I'm done with the Dante Brooks side, I have to focus now on the individual who has passed away and his family and the pain that they're enduring. Unfortunately, when you lose someone in a case like this, there's only one consolation. Okay, other than the consolation of this person going to prison to spend the rest of their life or a couple of years, this person is still breathing. So the only consolation for the survivors of the victim is financial compensation. So for the family of the deceased, I would implore you guys to look into a civil suit in this matter. If indeed Mavado's son's case has to be reviewed, and Mavado's son has to be resentenced as a teen because it actually happened when he was a teen and not an adult, then Mavado would be left with the bag and the person who is responsible for any civil suit and any money that has to be paid out. Unfortunately, if the sentence as an adult stands and Dante Brooks is legally or was legally sentenced as an adult, then the compensation demand has to come from Dante Brooks directly. And if Dante Brooks happens to be broke, then pretty much the family of the deceased is going to end up with a second loss, because if he's in prison and he has no money to give, then they're not going to end up with any money. But again, if Dante Brooks was illegally sentenced as an adult, this would work more in favor of the family of the deceased. So as much as the family might be rejoicing right now that, yes, he got life and he deserved life, and I don't want anybody to review his sentence to see if it was fair or unfair, him being in prison for life because he was sentenced as an adult does not give this family an opportunity to claim anything from a civil suit of loss. Because first of all, there is a lot of civil claim that can be made here. Number one, the house, arson, it was burned down. So that is clear that you would need your house or the value for your house compensated back to you. The loss of your child, and I don't know if this individual that died had children, so the security that he could have, if he was still alive, provided for his children would also become the responsibility of Dante Brooks. However, if Dante Brooks is sentenced as a minor, like I say, this falls on the responsibility of Mavado and Mavado's estate. So there is, from my point of view, there is a bittersweet. On one hand, if Dante Brooks is sentenced as an adult and he's in prison, there's no way you're going to get any financial compensation. On the other hand, if Dante Brooks is sentenced as a minor, there is a possible way that you can get compensation financially from his father's estate, because he's a minor and his actions falls to the responsibility of his father. That's pretty much what I have to say about this. Like I say, I'm not here to take side. I did read a little about the case. It was a very ugly case with Dante Brooks and his co-defendant, and it was an overkill from my understanding. And if indeed the sentence is legal, then I would say it is just. If Jamaican law does not govern where a 15-year-old can be sentenced as an adult, then this has to be appealed, the sentence has to be reviewed, and Dante Brooks would have to be resentenced as a minor, because that's what he was at the time of the crime. In regards to the family that takes a loss, I will say it again, you have the opportunity to file a civil claim because of your losses. You have a clear case where you can claim some financial losses from the Brooks family. But just remember what I say. The age of 18 makes a big difference. If he's seen as an adult, everything falls on his lap. If he's not seen as an adult, then everything falls on his father's lap. Anyway, people, let me know what you think about this. I've seen where other people were comparing other murders in Jamaica to this particular case and say it's not fair because there was one guy, I remember that case that he's supposed to be a wealthy guy that had shot and killed someone, and he was supposed to turn in his gun, and he didn't turn in his gun, and he, I believe it's walking free, something like that. But when it comes to cases, criminal cases, it's not as cut and dry. You can't just compare two apples, or you can't compare oranges and apples. The details of every case and the details that surrounding every case matches and makes a big difference. But let me know what you guys think about the sentencing, and let me know what you think about my feedback in regards to this situation. Do you think life in prison for a minor is an appropriate sentence? Or do you think life in prison for someone who was arrested as a minor but face sentencing as an adult? Do you think that is legal? Do you think that is right? Do you think that is appropriate? Well, don't tell me if you think it's legal. Just tell me if you think it's appropriate, because the thing about legal is we don't really have much say over what's legal. Law is written and it's stubborn and it is what it is. So if it's there, it rules. If it's not there, it doesn't rule. And that's pretty much it. Anyway, people, let me know what you think about this one. As you know, on my channel, I appreciate thumbs up and thumbs down, agreement and disagreement, because at the end of the day, people, each one teach one. You've reached the end of my video, and that in itself is a support that I truly appreciate. And while I'm at it, I will take this time out to let you guys know other ways that you can support my channel. The first and simplest way that you can support my channel is by giving this video a thumbs up. And the second and most important way that you can support this channel is by hitting that subscribe button and subscribe to my channel and follow me through my YouTube journey. Other ways that you can support my channel is by going to my Teespring online store and buying some of my merch. And another way that you guys can also support this channel is by joining me in Patreon to give me a contribution to support what I do on YouTube and what I do to entertain you guys. Once again, I want to thank you guys for your continuous support and ask that you join me, ENT Sebast, on YouTube and see where my journey takes me. Until next time, people, peace.